Good evening, everybody. Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Von Rudenberg.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Canestrino.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sims.
Here.
Councilmember Pataglia.
Here.
Mayor LaBrus.
Here.
This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6 et sec. Notice having been published according to law with a copy on file in the city clerk's office and a copy posted on the bulletin board in City Hall.
Thank you. Would everybody please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. And go right to the agenda, please.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is the Committee of the Whole agenda for Tuesday, March 10th, 2020. First on the list is the introduction of the ordinance for resident parking stickers for streets. This has been discussed previously. The city has been advised the following residential areas have been approved for resident parking stickers as of April 1st, 2020. Hamilton Place from Prospect Ave to Vanderbeek Place. Vanderbeek Place from Passaic Street to the dead end. Franklin Place from Passaic Street to Prospect Ave. Anderson Street, Linden Street to Prospect Ave. Clarendon Place, Passaic Street to Anderson Street. Resident parking stickers will be $5 per vehicle, and you must have your license match your home address. Stickers will be available to purchase at the Hackensack Police Department located at 225 State Street. If your vehicle does not properly display a resident parking sticker, you will be subject to ticketing and towing. Signage will be posted on our streets. You should have any questions, please call the Hackensack Police Department's Traffic Division 201-646-7737. It will be effective April 1st. The H-Cops will be going around presenting letters to the residents, and we will do the notification to properly get this underway.
What I would recommend, because I know it's going to happen, and we haven't had a lot of pushback on this one, so that was good. But we're going to miss somebody who's not going to get this letter and maybe away or whatever, for whatever reason didn't get the letter and is going to get ticketed and say, hey, I didn't even know about this or whatever, you know. So we may have to, if they show their proof of residency, we may have to have a little bit of forgiveness there somehow.
Maybe a grace period for the residents.
You know?
Right.
Yeah,
30
because
days or something.
Well, we have the
Give them a
ability to
month or
write
something.
warnings, so let's see how this works out. I'll speak to the Captain Bastiglia from the police department and have a chat over that issue.
Ted, this had come up at the last time we talked about this, was now that we're doing so much of this throughout the city, because we're seeing that we need to. If you remember, the question was, should they be color-coded by ward or district? Because people could be coming from the first ward to park up here in the fourth or fifth ward to get a bus and leaving their car there all day.
Had a discussion with Jackie today. I said, Kathy Canestrino is going to ask that question, and I'm prepared to answer that. On the initial, we're going to put these out as is, but we are clearly going to define colors because it's going to require it. It's a function of this. But just to get started, we're going to start here, and then depending on how much of a usage we're going to get, then we're going to go to the next phase, which is coloring, but it absolutely will
I think we should probably think about it so that
We
we're
are now,
prepared.
but-
Because a lot of the folks that are doing it probably do live local. They may live in Hackensack,
Yep.
that's why they're taking the bus from
Right.
there. And it's gonna be the same issue where they're parked there all day. We're gonna get the same, this doesn't work, and, so let's at least think about it. I know
We're-
they asked about it last time, so I'm bringing it up in my
We-
notes.
For timing purposes, there was
Yeah.
not enough time to sort this out, but we are clearly going to put colors in for these stickers.
Thank you, dear.
No problem. Number 2 is the First Street parking sign change. This is a request, let's see here, let me get to the Steve, do you have any comments before I find this in my?
No, I mean,
We changed the ordinance. I'm just trying to find this.
this is,
Oh, the
This
the
was 2 hours
change.
on the east side?
yeah, it was.
Yeah, here it is. The
It was
change-
identified by
B&W
Dean, I
and by
think, that there was
B&W
an issue.
Main Street from Linden Street to the point of 319 feet north then of the street added to the ordinance, which is number 06-215. So this is just to add, we will check out the morning and issues, the time parking. It's basically from 15 minutes to 2 hours. So it will control the parking so people aren't parking there all day. They show up and they leave their vehicles there and then block everybody else that's either trying to shop or live right there in the area.
And so Central is 2 hours, but Main is 30 minutes, right, I think, right?
Well, no, so it's First Street, right?
First
So-
Street, I'm
so-
sorry,
so
First
what-
by
what-
Central, right?
What happened is First Street East didn't have, even though there was restriction.
Correct.
It was never codified, right? It was
Okay.
done, some time ago, and no one really knows how or why.
And that's where the little shops are.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And so, and there's like a dentist and a hairdresser, and so 30 minutes is not gonna be enough for you to
Right.
do those sort of appointments. So they made that 2 hours. The correction on Main Street is just a correction. It said north when it should say south, and Dean, noticed that. That's
So
in
the
front
signs
of,
were always, that's by B&W?
yeah, it's right in front of B&W. So if you go to that corner, if you go north, there's no parking at all. It's where the train tracks are. And so, Linden Street, it's really, you turn Linden Street and you go 319 feet south. That's the intention, and obviously 30 minutes, because we don't want people, the bakery is an in and out. You should hopefully, I guess unless you're before a holiday getting a crumb cake, be able to do your business in 30 minutes. So really, that's just a correction. First Street's an addition, but it's not really changing very much, just,
So it
find these
indicates
things all the
2
time.
hours from Central Ave to High Street. Any questions? Okay, number 3, skate park. The skate park was discussed at previous COW meetings, and this is a consideration of, it's a pretty large project, to be honest with you, because skate parks obviously lend themselves to possible injuries. So we got a cost factor from our insurance, and the MEL does provide 5 million limits for members-owned facilities who are approved by the MEL. So the municipal insurance has a whole list of requirements to put a skate park in. The MEL provides limits of $5 million for members of the town, representative members of local joint insurance funds, implementing insurance and safety guidelines are similar. They also require basic descriptions of the type of facility, and there's a bulletin that you have to follow. But when I flip this page, there are 8 qualifiers. Qualified architect and engineer must design the facility, and members of the town must obtain certificates of insurance from individual firm prior to the start of the project. The facility must be constructed by a qualified outside contractor. A member of the town must obtain certificates of insurance for the contractor. The members of the town must provide a copy of the design specifications of the local JIF review for the local JIF and the safety director. The governing body, the members of the town must adopt a resolution, that's standard. Governing body and the members of the town must adopt a resolution for the ordinance requiring posting of signs, skateboard facility, the wearing of safety equipment, including helmets, elbows, and knee pads. Governing body and the member of the town must adopt a resolution ordinance of whether it has to be supervised or not. Facility must receive a satisfactory post-construction inspection. Local JIF executive committee will approve the facility and coverage of receipt. Safety director satisfy reports of pre-construction inspection, including, and then they go into the coverage. And then I'm sure that, not detailed but not highlighted in this document, there is a annual and yearly inspection to make sure that obviously everything is safe for these children to facilitate. So basically, mayor and council have to decide, are they interested in pursuing this? If they are, we'll commence the project, find an architect, find a engineer to do the design, pick a location, and we'll proceed. So
That's 5 million a year,
5 million a year for.
not like a lifetime thing. It's-
No, liability insurance, because, like I said, the potential of injury is present there under those consideration. Last, well, that's not last. Fourth is the resolution for the police service guidelines. Mr. Kleiman, in his due diligence, maybe you wanted to take
Yeah.
credit for your work here since it took a while.
Yeah, so previously we made an amendment to our off-duty police ordinance to increase the rates. However, there was some additional concerns that we had that we wanted to address that are in many of these ordinances throughout the state, but were lacking in Hackensack's. The first major change is at the request of the police department, we are calling it extra duty, not off-duty employment, since, you know, technically they are exercising law enforcement responsibilities, albeit being paid by another source, such as Suez or PSE&G, or some entity that's building construction and needs traffic control mostly, or security. So we changed the entire ordinance to refer to it by the name that the police department believes is more appropriate to reflect what they're doing. You know, importantly, we added in language that in order to utilize an off-duty Hackensack police officer, we're going to have to get an indemnification provision. You know, obviously, if anytime a police officer does the kind of work that they do, the city is exposed. And so, you know, we're asking the folks that, like the Suez's and the PSE&Gs, that, hey, you know, if there's a lawsuit, that you should indemnify the city for our actions here, and you should also have insurance for the city, to the city's benefit as well, to ensure that, you know, there's coverage to back up your indemnification promise. You know, there's a few other technical changes to this as well, just to make it read a little bit better and a little bit more consistent with the better forms of ordinance that I've seen throughout the state. But I think really those are the biggest changes are calling it extra duty, indemnification, insurance, and, you know, again, more clarifications as well. So any other questions, feel free.
That would complete the city manager's report.
Okay. Need a motion to open the public, please?
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Anybody from the public who'd like to get up to speak, please do so. Seeing no members of the public wanting to speak, motion to close the public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And with that, I just have a quick question before we go in the back on the skate parks. Have we gotten any type of numbers on construction costs on these things?
We have
Nothing.
not, because
We just-
I didn't want to, one, we're a little busy right now, and
Yeah.
two.
I'm just curious
two-
ballpark what they go for.
Well, we'll reach out and start
Yeah.
to get that, but I wanted some, yes, we're going in that direction or not.
Yep.
And once I know that, we'll,
Well, I'm sure we all
press.
have questions on it, so it's
no,
something we
no,
need to
absolutely, I'll
talk.
start
I gotta
that.
call you back in a few.
All right?
Okay.
So with that, motion to go into closed session.
Offer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed?
Whereas the mayor and council of the city of Hackensack deem it necessary to discuss certain actions under section 7B7 and 7B8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, which pertains to matters falling within attorney-client privilege, ongoing litigation, and personnel matters concerning the employment of a current or prospective public employee. Whereas the mayor and council of the city of Hackensack is of the opinion that such circumstances may presently exist. And whereas the mayor and council wishes to discuss the following issues: personnel matters, ongoing litigation, matters involving attorney-client privilege, matters involving the purchase, lease, or acquisition of real property, any pending or anticipated litigation or contract negotiations. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council of the city of Hackensack deem it necessary to exclude the public from this discussion. The outcome of the discussion will be disclosed within 90 days, or at such time and as the interests of the city do not require confidentiality.
I will brief the council, I guess, on the Underwood Properties case. That's really, there's not a heck of a lot of developments and other litigation, so I guess any questions you may have on cases you're interested in, feel free to bring up, and I will announce that at the end of the closed session.
Okay, we'll see everybody at 8 o'clock.
Thank you.
A motion to close the executive session?
The motion to close the executive session, please.
Offer.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unopposed? Motion to close the council of the whole.
Offer.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unopposed?
And I just want to note, we did talk about the Capra case as well, so just want to add that, Capra versus Knapp.